I wanted to talk today about how we have this incredible opportunity to create heaven on earth, and that our life here is not meant to be so difficult. We are not meant to suffer this much. And while certain challenges and certain things that, we go through in life make us stronger, absolutely, they make us more resilient. Our entire lifetime isn't supposed to be made up of immense difficulty. And so what Spirit has brought to my attention, and I really wanted to share this message, was that we have this opportunity individually to basically blow apart, to reconstruct the matrix that we are all attached to at this time. And the way that we function, the way that we are living, the way that you live your daily life right now is either plugged into the matrix or unplugged from the matrix. Now, obviously, most people are 100% plugged in to what is, and they feel powerless over what is, that they don't have any control to change the situation. But the really deep, profound message I was getting this weekend was that we actually have this incredible power to dismantle the matrix, and we dismantle it through ourselves. Now, hear me out on this one. It's kind of a deep idea here that I'm going to be dissecting, but we break down the matrix by separating ourselves from it, by reconstructing our lives in such a way that we are no longer playing out what is, right? Because we collectively, individually, are participating in what is. So if you can start to recognize how you are contributing to your own suffering, to your own reality, the way that you experience reality, once you start to have awareness of that, you're going to be able to start shifting and changing it to the point where you actually step out of it completely. The challenge for humanity is that we are meant to break down the matrix. We are the matrix. Okay, that's the message I was getting. We are the matrix. We make up the matrix. So the way that we have to go about this is to go back to love, to go back to remembering who we are on a soul level, to go back to remembering the power that we have individually and collectively, and how much our energy is harvested on a regular basis when we are giving our energy, our attention. Your attention is your energy. When you are giving your attention to things that are not positive, things that don't serve you, things that don't make you happy, don't fulfill you, don't give you that heaven on earth experience that you have a chance to experience here and now. The way that I'm picking up on this is that we move into 5D through recognition of how our energy is contributing to the matrix. And so once you have a very clear understanding and recognition of that, you're going to be able to start to detach more and more. And we detach more and more, and the matrix collapses more and more from our awareness of how we live on a daily basis, how we interact with others, how we feel about ourselves, how we take care of ourselves, how we love ourselves is ultimately what collapses the matrix. Because when you start to really step into this really deep understanding that you are worthy and you are divine in your own way, and within your being, you are a divine soul, then you start to fully embody that power. And it's about embodiment at this point, like the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, the Scorpio full moon that we just had, and then the sun just moved into the sign of Taurus, right? Like Taurus is an earth sign. It's about embodiment. It's about physicality, and it's about putting ourselves back into the driver's seat, right? So can you start embodying and taking certain action and living your life in such a way that expresses heaven on earth, that puts forth this energy of heaven on earth. And it's truly done through our actions, right? And the number one thing I recognize across the board when I'm working with people is this truly happens from how people love themselves, right? At the end of the day, that's always what it comes down to, is how much do you love yourself? Do you recognize that you don't give yourself enough, for example? Do you recognize that when you have anxiety or depression, that something is not in balance within your life, that you're not giving yourself time or attention or love? Most specifically, time and attention is love. So can you make those physical adjustments now to put yourself into this energy of pure and unconditional love for yourself, and to be one of those members of society who is contributing to collapsing the matrix? Because this is how we're going to collapse it, and this is how we're going to do this together. And as more and more of us come online, and which means come into a deeper connection with God, with ourselves, with the universe, and with how it all operates and how it is all moving us to this direction of more love, more compassion, more kindness, more understanding. As we embody all of these energies, we truly become master manifestors, master creators of a life that is truly heaven on earth. And there are many actually who are already experiencing that type of life, who are already in this heaven on earth energy, because they simply embody peace and love and kindness. And I recognize certain things that people do within themselves that really keeps us stuck to the matrix. Like, we keep it going, basically. And one of those things is negative thinking, like giving our power away to negative thinking. So every single time that you are believing those flighty thoughts that literally just come and go constantly, and every time that you are over consuming any type of information, you are creating anxiety for yourself, you're creating depression within yourself, you're creating this energy of being stuck and staying in a frequency of fear. And if you're staying in a frequency of fear, like all the time, and so many people have fear as their sort of baseline and it runs them on autopilot. Like, if you're constantly in that frequency, there's no way that you can create heaven on earth for yourself or for your family, right? Like, you can't, it doesn't match. The energies don't match. Heaven on earth energy is truly unconditional love. It is this beautiful love that you feel for yourself, that you feel for your life. It makes me almost emotional to talk about that, or to say it or express it, because it's so deep, it's so profound. It's this ability to just watch birds and be in absolute awe, or just to watch little children playing and seeing how incredibly beautiful their innocence is, right? Like, it's recognizing immense value in these very simple, very beautiful things, right? And there is, I believe, this shift happening about how we do life, like how we are expressing ourselves, how we are living our day to day, what we value more. There's this emphasis on needing to really look at your value system and really evaluate what values are still resonating for you. Have your values shifted? Have you personally noticed that there are just things that you don't want to give your time and energy to anymore? And especially things that put you into the frequency of fear. So I really noticed for myself that there are certain videos I can't watch anymore. There are anything and everything that puts me back into that state, that fearful state, or that feeling of fear, like creepy videos or anything like that. Like, I can't give my time or attention to anything like that anymore. It just feels so opposite of me to go into that frequency of fear. I don't like that it activates the frequency of fear within me. And while those, people on these channels on YouTube that create these videos take a look at their numbers. Like, if you notice, these types of videos get a lot of attention. They get a ton of views. Why is that? Because that just goes to show how many people are still super plugged into that frequency of fear, which is what makes up the matrix. And so in order for the matrix to collapse, people need to look at this stuff less and less, right? But as energy goes, we are always embodying whatever frequency we give our attention to most. And this is why I mentioned in previous videos that your attention is like your superpower. It is your absolute currency, right? And wherever you put your attention and your focus, whatever you invest that currency into is what you are going to get back. So you have to really evaluate what your exchange is. What's the value that you're getting back from that investment? And if there isn't any value or little to no value, then you need to reevaluate. Like, the sun in Taurus is now asking us to, because the sun is the illuminator, right? So it's illuminating this within us. It's asking us to notice, hey, can you notice the things that you're investing your time and energy to, what your return is on that? Are you satisfied with that return? Because if you're not, then you need to perhaps sit with yourself and look at your value system once again and see how your values have changed at this point and how you want to reallocate your time and your attention, your currency. So the main message I was really getting was about how we have this incredibly powerful and beautiful opportunity to create heaven on earth for ourselves. But that requires us to disconnect from the energy of fear, because fear has so many levels to it and so many different frequencies to it. And so you could be embodying fear in just like through the energy of worry, right? Another may embody fear through anxiety. Another may embody fear through depression. These are all connected to fear in one way or another, right? They're just different. They just vibrate at slightly different frequencies. So we have this beautiful opportunity to completely collapse the matrix, and it collapses through each and every single one of us. That was the main takeaway that I was getting. And this was just spinning in my head like all weekend. I was just so busy, and it's tax season, so I had to get some stuff done. But I really wanted to talk about this today, to put this information out there so that we become much more aware of how much power we have, and that we actually create or uncreate the matrix through our own thoughts, through our own embodiment, through our lifestyles, through how we love or don't love ourselves, and how we care for or don't care for ourselves. And that's really all it comes down to. So the sun in Taurus is this stark reminder. It is this illumination of, hey, can you notice in what ways you are contributing to the matrix staying alive? Do you plug in your energy and give it freely away to things that don't serve you? So more and more, I'm finding that people are going to be changing out their value system. It's like higher frequency things are going to be much more valued than low frequency things, because as the vibration on this planet is increasing on a regular basis, continuously, we are all affected by that energy, right? And we're all individually adding to that energy. So just make sure that you really respect yourself, that you really respect what you have the power to control, and respect your own power and your own value, and start making physical, tangible changes within your life. Embody the type of love for yourself that perhaps you wish you received from another, that you perhaps wish you received from your parents growing up, right? Because when you fill your own cup up again with all of those missing pieces, you won't need validation. You won't need recognition. You won't need any of those things that currently keep you in wanting. I mean, to continuously be in desire is normal, right? To want things is normal. But what is the motivation behind your wanting is what needs to be questioned at this point. It's like, why do I need to watch certain videos like tarot, for example? I'd love to use that as an example, because something that really came to my attention about tarot as well is it will loop you in certain stories. So if you continuously watch specific people on YouTube that do tarot readings and you notice that those readings are very much like the same over and over, that means that you are contributing to that reader's energy, like what they're picking up in the collective, and you are contributing to that looping energy. So it's like you yourself are looping in this energy, and that's why you resonate with those messages. But it's like, how many times do you want to hear the same story? How many times do you need to hear the same thing over and over, where it's like you're seeking for this validation, this constant validation? Nothing in your life is actually changing because you're not changing anything, because you're not validating yourself. So it's just a point I wanted to make, because there are a lot of readers out there, and I definitely know for sure that there are a lot of like false readers out there, readers that perhaps come across like beautiful and come across really great and seem like they have like really good messages or whatever. But what we don't realize sometimes is that those messages are looping, and they suck you into this looping of your own story. So don't give your power away to these readings. Make sure that you retract, stop watching them. If you want a different outcome in your life, if you want to really, and we all have a beautiful opportunity to create very, very different lives for ourselves this year. And if we want to create that different life, and we want to see this matrix system collapse that we all know isn't working, then we have to make some significant changes. What you consume on a daily basis through social media, what you consume physically, the types of foods you're eating, what you consume energetically, the types of people that you're hanging around, what you consume in terms of information, all matters. It all matters. So give your time and your attention, and invest your time and attention and energy into things that create heaven on earth for you specifically, however that looks for you, whatever that feels like for you, as long as it creates this blissful, peaceful, love-filled, beautiful feeling within yourself. You have your own unique combination to create that, as do I, as does the next person. So that's what I really wanted to share today. Thank you so much for watching, for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.